Well, as you can tell, Nick is back in the office. Welcome to FMTrain.tv. We got Nick is on the right one. I'm going to have to turn Nick down. He's really loud. Hang on here. Let me turn him down. I feel like really low, like super low. All right, so really welcome to FMTrain.tv, where we do awesome FileMaker training. And today is part 2 or day 2 of our awesome conversation on auto enter calculations, extreme auto enter calculations. So what I want to do is cover a little bit of housekeeping for everyone. So there was tomorrow we're back with Nick again. So I just want to point out that tomorrow is another Nick day, but tomorrow's on naming conventions, a little bit coding standards. It's like kind of an open Q&A day, but we were talking about how and why he structures, or we RCC structures it the way we do. What I'm going to do is I wanted to show you this picture. We had someone complain to us. It was kind of funny. We had a customer, not really a customer, just because we do all this tech support, right? And so we have random people who don't buy anything from us who call us, or they'll buy something like from 5 years ago and they want to know what's going on, and they'll call us and they'll send tech support questions, and they're very mad because that our server guy Jacob wouldn't help them with their SSL certificate, but they bought like this what I was referred to by my team as a ghetto SSL certificate, i.e. a SSL certificate created super cheap by someone who's not an authorized or not a recognized SSL provider that Claris Apple recognizes, and as a result, FileMaker won't accept it. So we tell people don't buy ghetto SSL certificates, don't do things like that, and if you do it, don't, really complaining to us is not going to do any good. So that didn't stop the person from complaining that they couldn't get a ghetto SSL certificate along with the free watches and everything else that's been recently stolen out on the street. So I thought that was pretty awesome right there. I have a couple notes here for myself. If I go to Richard Carlton, I want to lay this on you. So we're going to be giving you some links here. We have the naming conventions link, tomorrow's naming conventions link, but we also have the project starter solution. We're going to be posting. I can't really do it on here. I'll let Nick talk about himself a little bit. I can post these over there. We also updated that Empower file from yesterday. So if you're here, you want to learn about auto enter calculations and making your solutions run fast, you have come to the right place. So let me go to PowerPoint. Nick, are you there?
I am here.
You are there. That's really awesome. I'm just going to hit play on this PowerPoint. So you're kind of up in the corner up here, which is kind of interesting. So we're calling this extreme. So extreme it might be illegal. And we need you to step out of the car and keep your hands where we can see them. Once again, that was the artwork that we had done up for the PowerPoint presentation. I don't think Nick has seen this, but the ghetto SSL certificates, right? Okay, so real quick, who is RCC and who is Nick? People ask me all the time, like, who are you and what do you do and why do we care, right? And so the conversation comes up is that if you need licensing questions, you need help with projects, if you need coaching help, you need UI design help, selling licenses, setting up servers, we do basically everything FileMaker. We don't pirate the software or steal it illegally, so if you're looking for that kind of help, or if you're looking for ghetto SSL certificates from the hood, we don't have those. So we actually, all our software is legitimate and legal. So moving along, back to my PowerPoint. Nick, give us a little bit of your background real quick. What is your background?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead,
Yeah.
Nick. You may
So,
tell us all about your sordid past and where you've been.
yeah, okay. I first started working on the FileMaker. It was still Nashoba, so this is the very first version of FileMaker, before Claris 1.0, before FileMaker, before everything. So I was 16 and I made my first $500. I was 16 with FileMaker at that point, right? So I said, hey, we can make money with this, and then I started like that. And so I organized the wedding of my cousin back in the day with FileMaker. And since I always made FileMaker solution all my life, so FileMaker is part of my life since day one, right? So then I worked for many companies over there in France, when I was in France, and in Europe in general. I worked for many newspaper, magazines, the music industry, and the medical industry. That was my biggest, the medical industry. That was my biggest work I had in a day. I even as you know, I moved in the Middle East for 6 years of my life, and I was working for the Ministry of Health in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So I had a kind of an interesting life. Then I moved in the US, and I got hired at Apple, at FileMaker, and back in 2009 to work on the new version of FileMaker they were calling FileMaker Go. And they wanted me to build a new starter solution to work on FileMaker Go. And so I got hired there because they wanted somebody crazy to make crazy things out of the box, new, never seen before. And I show my work, and they say, okay, you're the guy. And so you're crazy enough for us. And then I walked there, and then I left FileMaker to work for you, Richard. And since I'm at RCC, and happy to be.
Absolutely. And so what I'm doing is I'm posting your sample files real quick. Now, to be very honest, Nick kind of wore out his welcome at FileMaker because you saw if you watched the conversation from yesterday, he expressed that he had presented to them a solution which would scale, would be high performance, and they didn't want that. The considerations for scaling and high performance were not a priority with the starter solution. They wanted other stuff, so they had him rip out the high performance scaling stuff and put in really slow, would you call it an abomination of code?
Yeah, I actually, it's not because it was a trade-off. Those files are very special for many, many reasons. It was difficult to implement, extremely difficult to implement in a product like FileMaker. We have also to be careful in the consideration of localization of those files in 10 different languages like Japanese and Chinese and German, where you have names that very big. So I had a lot of restriction, to be honest. And also it wasn't the performance wasn't there, wasn't the first requirement because they didn't want the file to work on server. It wasn't meant to be walking on server. It was meant to be opening, on the computer and start there, right? So anyway, as is for cloud usage, for example, those sort of solutions are abominations. Now they are easily, we can easily fix that, and it was kind of a great example how to fix things, right?
Okay, so I am putting in, the reason I'm facing over this way with my Diet Dr. Pepper is I'm typing into everyone's thing over here. They can get the project, starter, solution. I'm calling it fixed as opposed to not fixed. And I have the link here for it. So I'll put that there. I'm also going to put it over here. So you guys have the two files from yesterday. Now, today is a Q&A cleanup day because there were a lot of questions. We still went long yesterday. We're going to go as long as we need to today. Once again, this is a recorded session. And if you would, and before we dive in and everyone loses their focus, I want to thank everyone who supports this channel. How do you support the channel? You support it by purchasing our training. It's not very expensive. We have a complete training bundle that includes FileMaker 19, a copy of FileMaker Pro. Really, it's Pro Advanced, but they call it Pro now, so it's the advanced one. That's 19, or you can get it just with the videos only. I have coupons. I'm going to put the coupons now. Instead of emailing, we're going to put them right into the Slack or the Twitch and YouTube threads here in just a second. So you can press the button and show your support.
So let's walk. We are enough with the fun. Let's do the mega fun. Okay, so yesterday I got some questions that you forwarded to me. And I think I can compile two questions in one answer. Okay. So yesterday I got two questions. First question was how using import, export, and stuff like that with FileMaker, and using the auto entry option of the calc dialog, something like that. So I'm going to cover that now. And at the same time, somebody asked me the differences between using local variable, what we call local variable or global variable. Okay. So that makes the variable permanent. This is so I'm going to explain the difference between two, and I'm going to explain how you can use both of them, either of them, into an auto entry calculation. Okay, so instead of having something already done, I'm going to do it live in front of you. Okay, so here's the goal. We have a new account here that is RC Consulting in Santa Clara, everything there, but we don't have any contacts. So we want to import. We have a contact file here. We want to import this contact tabs, kind of a contact file here. We want to import it into FileMaker, and we want at the same time that this import to be related to this account. Okay, so first of all, I want to use the auto entry calculation to make sure that this import is going to be tied to the current account. Okay. So first I'm going to the contact table and say, okay, the ID account, see the foreign key of the accounts. There's nothing here. There's no calculated value, nothing. So I want that to be, you know, I'm going to use that the calculation value to get the ID into this field later. Okay, so let's start with the script. So let's create a new script. So the script is the import contacts. Okay, so that's the new script that I want to create. So what the script is doing. So first of all, I need to collect the ID of the current account, because I want the result of my importation to be related to the account where I'm starting the process. So I'm setting a variable, okay? Setting a variable, and this variable is a local variable. Okay, so why a local variable and not a global variable? The difference between two is that when you use a local variable, this variable will stay in memory the time of the script is running. So when the script's done, the variable is gone. So let me demonstrate that to you. So I want the ID account in this variable. So here is I'm running here the debugger. Okay, I'm running the debugger, and I'm going to debug this. So if I run this script, I'm showing you the whatever. So here I have one. You see here I have a global variable that is there all the time, and the global variable here will last until I close the file, right? So the local variable here, if I'm doing this, see here I have now my local variable that is the account ID, okay? But when this script is gone, see this here, when the script is gone, bam, is gone. The variable is gone. And this one lasts because this one is a global. So if I use a global variable, it will last forever until I close the file or quit FileMaker, okay? So this is the difference between two. So here I'm going to use a local variable because I don't want that to last forever. I don't want in my data viewer to see all those global variables that doesn't mean anything. This one, I want to be a global variable for this one. So I'm collecting the account ID, okay, right? Then I say I want a new window. I want a new window, and this new window, I want the new window to point to the contact table, to the contact layout, okay? Because I'm going to import a contact. So I'm doing this, and then I say, okay, import. I want to import record with a dialog, right? And then when that's done, I want the thing to be closed. I want to close the window because I built a new window and I want to close a new window, okay? So why I'm doing this, why I'm doing the new window and close the window, I'm going to show you because I'm not using the go to layouts, import and go back. I'm not using this technique. I'm using another technique. I'm going to teach you more advanced technique to do that stuff. Okay, so you create a new window, you go to the contact in the new window, you import the dialog here, you import the records, and then you close. So, but you notice that I didn't did like a kind of a I didn't set a field to set the ID of the account yet. I didn't do that, right? Because I'm going to import multiple records. So normally I should have say replace field, right? In the contact table, replace the IDF account with whatever value in the account ID. Right? So normally I should have done that. That means I collect the ID, I go to the contact, I import my contacts, and then I want all the records imported with this to be replaced to have the account ID to be the account ID I collected before, and then I close the window. But this is aggressive. This is what I was calling yesterday. This is the armada. This is huge. This is too much. Okay, the replace. We don't need that. So let's get out of this. You know, get rid of this. So how can I make sure that those records that I'm going to import are going to be related to this account ID? Well, auto entry calculation to the rescue. I'm going to the contact table. I'm using the account tab. I'm opening the account field. And here I'm saying auto entry calculation, put there whatever in the local variable ID account. Remember what I said about the local variable. The local variable will be valid from that until I close it. So I will have the variable account ID available to me from this. This will be available and this will be available. That means I will have this available on those 2, even 4, script steps. Okay, so and then this will vanish, but I don't care because I don't need it anymore.
Right.
I need while I'm importing. So as the last thing I did, I went to the contact and I say I want the auto entry calculation, and the auto entry calculation asked to populate into this whatever in the ID account local variable. So by doing so, so now I want my import button here, and I want this import button to perform the script's import contacts, right? You see there?
You're good. You're good. Keep going, baby.
Okay,
I'll sit here and keep making noises for you.
Okay, so let's debug this script. Okay, so I'm going here. I say, okay, I want to import this, and so I'm setting the variable. So I set the variable, and you can see here I have the variable account ID. This is the account ID of my current ID. Okay, and now I want a new window. So, and I am in the contact table, Now I have my import stuff with a dialog, and I say, okay, I want to import whatever in this contact tab file, okay? And I want to import, so I want to use this as a field name. No, I don't have field name. This is an email, so I want to import that in an email. This is a first name and last name here, and this is a phone number, okay? So this is what my file is, email, last, first, see? And, maybe it's first, last. Yeah, it's first, last. Sorry, first and last. So now I import my stuff, okay? But here, look what we have. Perform the auto enter option for fields during import. So during the import, you can tell FileMaker, and that is new in 18, by the way. Not 19. It was new in 18.
Correct. So, that's correct. Yeah, that's new. That dialogue is totally new.
Yeah. So here you can see I have an auto entry calculation into the ID contact. Yes, because I have in my database, in my on the field, I have an auto entry calculation that put a UUID by default here when you create a new record. I have the full name index. That was kind of a demonstration I was doing 2 weeks ago about how to index a full name. This is the account name. That means I'm going to get the account name based on whatever I put in the ID account. And then I have this ID account auto entry calculation where I have the whatever in the local variable will be added into this. Okay. So I'm keeping all of them, but if I want, I can deactivate all of them, or I can activate some of them, not all of them. Okay. But here I need all of them, and don't be. So I think I received a question about this yesterday, and you need to make sure that you have this activated when you import, or if you don't want something to happen because for X reason, sometimes you don't want to happen, so you deactivate. The new thing in FileMaker 18 that before until FileMaker 18, you have one choice: all or none, all or none. Now you have the choice of some of them. Okay, so that's what new in FileMaker 18. Okay, so I'm good. I have my 23 contacts here. I want to import. I'm ready to import. Okay, and so I'm going to import, right? So I continue here. So it's doing the import, and he said, okay, I import 23 records here, no errors, nothing. And now you can see I have my ID account 351D, okay, which is whatever I have in the local ID here, 351D9, you see, D8, that's the same. Okay, so it is the job, right? And now I'm closing the window. That means I'm done. I import the contact, closing the window, right? So I close the window, and boom, what do I have? I have my 23 records attached to my account, right? So see the benefit of auto entry calculation? Imagine that you have this process done 100 times a day by 70 users or 100 users, and can you imagine the load of your server if you have to do that all the time? You have to replace the field contents. Now here I don't have to replace. I don't need to replace. I set the variable. I open a new document window into the contact with the contact layout. I import my stuff. I close, and voila. Now I'm going to show you something very, very cool. If I do that again, okay, so if I do that again, let's get this ID account. So if I go to the account layout here, the contact layout, and I search for this account and I destroy this, okay? I delete that. Delete all. So, and I want to import with the technique of new window and close. Here what happened, okay? You do this, you have the window open, okay? You select so you have the window, you have the window here on the back, and then you import. Well, it's not great. You have this pop-up window and close. I want the new window to happen, but I don't want to see it. How you do that? You put in a position from the top position. You put minus 5,000. Okay? Don't put more. If you put more, it won't work. Okay? 5,000. That means the window will be off the screen down on the negative. So it will always be off the screen even though you have multiple screens. Okay? So demonstration of this. I'm importing. I click here. I don't see anything happening. See? It's clean. He asked me what field, what I want to import. I don't see anything, but the window is open. You see that you have the empower your search. You know, two. I am in this window, the two, the empower your search two. I am in this window. Okay. Actually, I can do something better. I can do something better. Let's rename this window, then you can see it. Import contacts. Okay. So now look what happened. I click here, and you can see that the window is, I am in import contact. I am in, but I don't see it. It's off the screen. Now I'm selecting my file. See, I'm still in contact window, but you know, so I'm importing my stuff. It does a job. It says that I have our 23. It goes there and boom. Super clean, right? Super clean. So you have this minus 5,000. All of this is great. All of this works fine. But the problem is it doesn't do the auto entry calculation. I don't have the number of contacts that I imported, and I don't have the list of the phone number that I imported here, right? I don't have it. It didn't do the job. So let's do it again, and let's add, you know, what I taught you guys yesterday about the auto entry calculation trigger, right? We know that I have a field that triggers all the auto entry calculation that doesn't trigger automatically because they rely to, they involve related records, and that we learned yesterday that related records are not triggering what's the name, auto entry calculation. So we learned yesterday that this field here is the field that triggers all the auto entry calculation. So let's say I have my import contact thingy. So I set a variable, new window, import, close, and then at the end I say set field, and I'm setting the field that I use for updating triggering all my auto entry calculation, that which is the last update timestamp. So, and I'm setting this field with the current timestamps, you know. As I said yesterday, this is an example. You know, you could do whatever you want. You can say one here. You can say your name, hello. You can say whatever you want, right? I'm using this because it's useful always to know when the last thing happened, especially when you are debugging. So now I add this, okay, into my script, and let's see what happened when you do that. So let's close this, and so let's see what happened. I'm doing my import. You know, select the contacts. I import my stuff, and here what happened. I have my list of phone numbers, and I have the number of contacts, and I got that. I got two things, and I could have gotten 100 things, just because I set one mere field with the current timestamp. So you see, I don't know if you noticed, but all this process of setting the account ID, importing the contacts, and updating all those fields accordingly to the last import, all of this in 5 lines, in a 5-line script. That's it. So that's what we call lean design. No need of a replace. No need. Can you imagine? Normally, if you don't use my technique, okay. Here, what it will look like if you don't use my technique. You import, you replace the field content. So you have to replace the field content of the contact with here with whatever in this variable, okay, and then you have to set the field number of contacts with counts of contacts, right? This, and you need to set the field what's the name, phone list of phone, or whatever I call it, list of phone number, and you need to do this, and you need to say, okay, I want the list of whatever the phone number in my contacts list. So this is what you have. So 8 rows instead of 5. So you can get rid of this, you can get rid of this, and you can get rid of this, which are, this one is it's a big, imagine you are importing 10,000 records, right? And you do a replace. First of all, you have a progress bar. You can go and, you know, get your favorite coffee or favorite tea, iced tea, and enjoy your iced tea. Oh, myself, you know, if I do something like that with 10,000 records, I can play pinball and stuff like that, right? So we don't want that. We want the thing to be fast. So you remove this and you remove this. You don't need that. Just because you transferred as much as possible the burden that I was saying yesterday. You are transferring the burden from the scripts to Draco, to these guys. These guys this guy here is doing all the thing for you. This guy here is doing the number of contact for you because you have an auto entry calculation. And this guy is doing the list of phone numbers, right? So, and this guy also is taking care of updating the account ID based on the variable. So all of this makes things extremely powerful and fast.
Go to the page that we saw a little bit ago. Nick, I'm just going to minimize your face so we can't see you anymore. If you go back to the browser and I go to the page right here, this is, once again, I'll just do this for you. You go to fmtraining.tv, you get individual courses, bing. Then you come down to the Nick one, free one right here. You press that. Then you can download the sample file right there. Yeah. That's where the Launchpad file is at. That's an epic file. In fact, a lot of that stuff where you see that roofing design and the EB5 and all that, it's based on Nick's Launchpad file. So Nick, we have Starting Point, which is a great starting point for a complete CRM. The Launchpad file is a good starting point for
anything.
Anything where you're actually going to build some sort of custom app. It's really not necessarily a CRM, it's something else. So it's got, you know, security thoughts and login thoughts, and there's a lot. There's 10 hour, 12 or 14 hours in here discussing that thing. So
yeah,
anyway,
I by the way, you know, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I was reviewing kind of all the video we have and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. At that point, if you watch all my video and you train yourself on everything we are talking about, you can compete with me pretty soon as a developer. Because I'm laying down everything I know and everything I'm using every day. So what we have now is more than a FileMaker University than FileMaker Learning.
Oh yeah, no, you're way beyond that. All right, cool. So everyone, I'm going to cut you loose. Welcome to fmtrain.tv. I appreciate the support. Definitely check out the links. For those of you who have our training, check it out. A lot of people have asked questions today. I sent you the numbers to the videos. If I didn't respond to a question today and you feel like you really want it answered, shoot the email to support@RC Consulting. We'll get back to you on that, or I'll get back to you. And then we'll see you tomorrow on the naming convention. So Nick, for today, thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much.
And the guys just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected. The quarterback, great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap. Stands in, throws it left for Amendola. Reaches up and snaps a high throw and lands inside the 10. Rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.